Hi, I'm Amanda from Life Unravelled, and we're here to unravel life's little mysteries. Today we're talking about development and the physical development of a child, their gross motor development, their fine motor development, and also their talking and speaking. Now these are three aspects that are really important for our children to be able to master before, or they'll be mastering it for a while, but before they get to school. In part one, we've gone through the gross motor and some of the fine motor movements that the children need to be able to do by the time they've reached 5. So now we're going to have a quick look at talking, even though in our next unit we'll be doing language development. This is a little bit more on just the physical development of talking. We're actually going to do language development and a whole heap on talking next. But just very quickly, we'll talk about talking. One of the things that you may not realise is that eating directly impacts their ability to talk. So if a child has only ever had soft liquid or soft like pasty food, they may not be able to say things like t. They need to be able to chew. And you need different textures in your mouth to develop your tongue muscles. Now your tongue keeps going, moves all day. Well, mine does anyway. But a lot of people will be talking a lot of the day. And when they're talking, their tongue is a muscle and it just is moving. So the first thing that the children do when they're born, they'll go bub, 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 which is lips basically, and dad, 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 which is sort of placing your tongue in the top of your mouth and moving your lips and jaw. And then they'll start to say different words, and they're working out where their tongue goes to make the different sounds. Now, if their tongue hasn't had the opportunity to learn to move food around in its mouth, it hasn't been given those real basics. So the best thing that you can do is get your children to eat textured food. Things like watermelon, carrots. At this age they should be able to eat carrots, celery, crunchy, chunky sort of food. Also things like squares of sweet potato that have a different texture. Maybe even things like kiwi fruit, which have a really different texture inside them. Those different textures is what will help your tongue to be able to move into all the different positions it needs to move in to be able to create the different sounds that we use in our language. Now, I'm sure that I didn't know that until I had my kids that were little, and one of them had to go to a speech therapist, and she said, oh yeah, we do heaps with babies who can't eat. Babies who are having trouble to eating go to a speech therapist. I'm like going, what? I didn't realise that. So this talking and being able to talk is directly impacted by the healthy foods that they eat. So just keep that in mind when you're getting kids to try and eat as much as they can. One of the other concepts which is important for children to understand is future and past tense. So they need to be able to understand the difference between those two by the time that they're 5. Another important milestone that your children need to reach once they're 5 is understand who, what, where, when, how and why. Now those concepts can be taught while they're telling stories, or while you're going to someone's house. Oh, where are we going? Who are we going to see? How are we going to get there? If they can answer those questions, then you're right, they understand those concepts. So it's very easy to find out. If they don't understand those concepts, then a chat with your GP is probably the best first call. Now, how can we help them with all of these milestones that they need to reach? You might find, I'm a little bit worried that they're not reaching some of them, or maybe I haven't exposed them to them like I didn't expose my kids to kicking a ball like a football. How can we do that? Well, there's some really simple things to do. Play ball with them, have fun together. Try and do some tennis with them when they're only 4. They're fully capable of doing those sorts of things. The more that they do it, the more successful they'll be. Enjoy outside. Go outside and play. Get them to run around. The more that they're outside, the more gross motor and fine motor movements that they will be understanding, and they actually learn a lot about their social life and how they should be behaving, learn how to control their emotions when they're outside in the wide world. Go to playgrounds and go to the beach, go swimming. Those sorts of things are the activities that you should be doing with your children to ensure that they have a full range of movement and that they can succeed at school. Teach them to hold a pencil properly. Now, a pencil should be held with one finger at the top, the thumb on the side, and this part of your finger here. See how it makes a triangle? Now, there are plenty of different things that you can put on pencils, and you can get them from, we can get them from anywhere really. Even the news agencies have them. That will help you get a grip of your pencil correctly. If you hold your pencil in this way, you have the best opportunity to write the neatest, the quickest, and with the least amount of excess work on your muscles, on your hand and your wrist muscles. Now, they're going to be writing a lot. Even though we've got computers and iPads and things like that, children will be writing a lot at school. So they do need to be able to hold it. And it's very hard for a teacher when they've got 20 to 30 students there to be able to ensure that each child is holding their pencil properly. So my suggestion is, when they're 4, teach them how to do it properly. Pointer on the top, thumb on the side, and this side part of your middle finger right on the edge. Now, if you can teach them to hold a pencil and cut with scissors properly before they're at school, they're miles ahead of a lot of other kids. Now, you might write differently. You might write like this. I see a lot of people writing like this with 2 fingers on the top, or like this. But what you'll find is that if you're writing in these ways, you're actually putting extra strain on the muscles here and the muscles through here. And that can actually cause things like carpal tunnel and very sore muscles, weakness in the wrists. So make sure, well, that's in extreme cases, but most people say, I've never had any problem. But if you want your child to have the easiest way of forming the letters correctly, this is the best way to hold your pencil. Now, I may go through that a lot. It is really, really important, and it does make a big difference to the way that children can write and their definition in their drawings. Get the kids to paint. Let them play with Play-Doh. Play-Doh is great for their fingers, to build strength in their fingers. Get them to cook. Play again with Lego. Love Lego. So when we're talking about talking, what are some of the things that we can do with our kids? Make sure you eat different textured food. That would be my first and foremost. And talk to your kids. Join them in conversation. Include them in your lives. They really want to be part of you. They want to make you happy. And in that way you can actually help them, because they want to make you happy. You can tell them what makes you happy. What is their behaviour that will make you happy? How can they make you feel good? And last but not least, make sure that they do it for themselves. There is no point you doing it for them. It may take a lot longer and it may not be the best, but the more that they do it, the better they'll get. And that means that they feel satisfied, and they will then want to do it again and again, and they will get quicker. Each time they do it, they'll get quicker and quicker and quicker. So make sure that you let them do it themselves. Look, enjoy your kids. They're only little once, And I think that this, even though there are lots of frustrations and there's lots of tantrums and there's a lot of not knowing what you're doing and trying to work out where they're going to go in life and so many things to think of, but this is the time that I think is one of the best times in their life. They love life and they're happy and they learn so much and they're like a sponge with all the learning. So enjoy your kids, have lots of fun, find a passion in life, and I'll see you next week. Bye. This video was produced by Imagination Pty Ltd for Life Unravelled. All advice and information given during this course is designed for general use only. If you have any concerns for your child, please seek professional advice as soon as possible. For terms and conditions, please see website www.lifeunravelled.com.au.